Alright, here's a weird one. This thing was towed in. It's a 09 F350 6.4 diesel. It's brought in as a, if you leave the key on for more than a few minutes, it becomes a no crank, and they have to reflash it or replace the PCM to get it to work. That's not exactly the case, but that's what they experienced. That's what they brought in. So I'm gonna show you. This code was setting P0232 fuel pump secondary circuit high. The PCM monitors the fuel pump monitor circuit. This code sets when the PCM detects voltage on the fuel pump monitor circuit while the fuel pump is commanded off. The fuel pump monitor circuit is wired to a pull-up voltage inside the PCM. The fuel pump monitor circuit goes high if, with key on, engine off, the fuel pump commanded off, the fuel pump monitor circuit loses its path to ground through the fuel pump. If the fuel pump monitor circuit goes high, the circuit is shorted to voltage. These are all the causes, but essentially what that means is if it loses its path to ground through the fuel pump, the computer assumes that it's shorted to voltage and sets this code. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on a graph when it acts up and what happens. So we're going to go over, here's a quick shot of the wiring diagram. You can see that. What we're looking at is that purple wire between the inertia switch and the fuel pump, where it goes down there. That's headed to the PCM. So now, this is what this looks like, key on, engine off. It lights that, and it takes quite a bit to shut off. So we're just going to stand here in silence until it shuts off. You can see we got 12 volts. Well, 13.2 because I've got the charger on it. Alright, so the light is off. The voltage goes away. So the PCM is still putting 12 volts out on that circuit to monitor for a path to ground through the fuel pump. And we can prove this by sliding it off my test light probe. And that 12 volts comes right back. And now the truck becomes a no crank. Go ahead and try to crank it. Nothing. So now I'm going to have them cycle the key back off, and you'll watch that voltage goes away eventually. So then I'm just going to reconnect that to my test light. So now it's got a path to ground again. If I don't mess everything up in the meantime. Alright. So that's reconnected. So I'm going to turn the key back on. Now we have light. It's got a path to ground. The computer knows that because it's seeing 12 volts right now. And now as soon as that light shuts off, it's not going to see 12 volts. And again, it takes an unreasonably long amount of time. This truck's been deleted. The fuel pump's actually not there. They have an aftermarket lift pump on it. I've got it unplugged because it's loud and annoying. So now, test light's off. No voltage because it's pulled to ground. The truck will crank. Alright. And now on a key cycle, it'll actually start. So go ahead and cycle the key and go ahead and start it. Alright. So problem solved. I just wanted to put this out there because it's weird. The service information doesn't say it will turn into a no crank. But it turns out shorted high or low, it turns into a no crank on this truck. So, neat one for you.